friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Tori. Today I'm going to be giving you my June 2023 TBR MBR. So May was kind of a slow month for me with reading, and I know I'd mentioned in videos previous to this that I was feeling a little burned out and I was struggling to find books that I was really jiving with. And so with May, I really kind of let myself slow down, and I really didn't push myself to read anything that I hadn't already absolutely committed to, which was really only 2 books for the whole month. And that was good. And it was definitely something that I want to carry on here into June and just have kind of a slower month that still leaves a lot of room for mood reading. That being said, I do have some books here in the month of June that I'm going to be finishing that I started in the month of May, and that also is kind of a new thing for me because I definitely struggle with not feeling pressure to finish books at the end of the month, right? We want to get it finished for that June wrap up or that May wrap up or whatever month it is. And it can be really hard not to feel like you have to really push yourself through that last week or week and a half of reading. And I'm carrying some books over into June, and that's totally okay. We're coming to some really profound conclusions here on this channel, so I hope you're appreciating this. A couple of these are going to be very loose commitment buddy reads, and I'm really looking forward to it. One of these I've been looking forward to starting most of the year now, and we're finally to June when we planned on starting it, and that is very exciting. I cannot wait. So the first ones are 2 that I have started reading here in May. The first one is Heliotrope by Palmer Pickering. This is an epic fantasy that is really beautiful. It is a slow burn kind of escape the coup kind of travel story here in the beginning. As you can see, I'm only about 200 pages in to this book, and it gives me a lot of beautiful blend between coming of age and that kind of jaded war hero that is now being asked to return to that noble, heroic, stand up and fight kind of position to save a couple of young children. It is very wholesome. There is some fantastic found family vibes to this book. The first chapter of Heliotrope, which I know I've said already in a million different places, is so beautifully written. It opens on this incredibly beautiful scene of craftsmanship, and it's just chef's kiss. I absolutely loved it. So I'm having a really good time. I'm audiobooking this. So the audiobook for Heliotrope is narrated by George Guidall, I think is how you pronounce his last name, and he has this incredibly rich elderly voice that just sounds like you're being read a fantastic tale by a grandfather, and it is beautiful. It gives me sitting around the fire vibes, and I love it so much. And I've slowly been working through this because I made a commitment that I really wanted to try audiobooking a little bit more this year. This has been a really great book to start with. I'm loving the audiobook. I'm really enjoying the story. One of the things I'm learning about audiobook is man, you gotta slow down. I know a lot of people put it on multiple times speed to listen. I have friends that listen on 2 times, 3 times speed. I just can't. I've tried a couple of times to speed it up. I have it at 1.2, and anything above that just sounds like jumbled mess, and it really like almost gives me anxiety to listen to. So I'm letting myself slow down and really soak in the details, and I have it at 1.2 times speed, and that's been a really good pace for me right now. When I was younger, I did listen to a lot of audiobooks at night, and there's definitely some nostalgia going on in me returning to audiobooks and trying to kind of reintroduce myself to that method of reading. So really enjoying it so far, and I look forward to hopefully finishing Heliotrope in the month of June. The other book that I picked up that was a review copy that I wanted to read in May that I started a few nights ago was Season of Kings by A.J. Retger. This one follows 3 different POVs. We have a prince, we have a has-been hero who's kind of on the run, and then we have a young girl who has been heavily trained by her father in basically survival skills. And we're cycling through episodes of chapter by chapter of each of these 3 characters. This is one that I really didn't want to rush through because, as you can see, even though it's really short, the chapters are very, very short and episodic. And one of the things that I'm noticing is that I'm kind of rushing through it a little bit. And so I wanted to take the pressure of finishing it in May off of my plate so that I can take my time and really get to know the characters a little bit better and finish it in June. Next up is a buddy read that I have been so excited about this year, and that is The Long Price Quartet by Daniel Abraham. I will be buddy reading this with several different people, but the person that I started talking to it about first was with Ponderings of Pete, a booktuber friend of mine. You can find his channel down in the description box below. And we set June as our kind of target date to start reading this. I think what my plan is that I'm going to be reading the first and probably second book for sure in June. For those of you that don't know, this is the omnibus edition, and it contains all 4 books of the Long Price Quartet. So if you can see the book, that's about where 2 books and 2 books split. So my plan is to read the first 2 books here in June, and then we'll see if I am really flying through it and really love it. I may continue on and read more than the first 2 books, but I'm only putting the first 2 books officially on my TBR for the month of June, because I have heard from some people that the payoff in this quartet is absolutely phenomenal, but that it does take some time to really figure out what's going on and immerse into the world and the prose. So I want to give myself plenty of time not to feel rushed to finish this entire thing in 1 month. So what I'll probably do is split it between June and July. And then the last one on my TBR for the month of June is finishing out the First Law trilogy. I am so excited that I'm finally 2/3 of the way through this trilogy, and I can honestly say that I have no idea. I have no idea where this final book is going. I have done reading vlogs for my experience of book 1 and book 2, which you can find somewhere up in the cards. I'll put them up there. And I will be vlogging my experience with book 3, so you guys can finish out the series with me. And I do intend to move on then to the second series of standalones that follow First Law. Best Served Cold is the next book after this trilogy in the set of standalones after First Law, and I will definitely be reading that in the near future. But for now, very excited to read the conclusion of the First Law trilogy and find out what on earth Joe Abercrombie is bringing us to here at the end, because I couldn't tell you. I don't even know if I have predictions at this point, which is kind of fun. I will say I'm really enjoying the fact that I don't have predictions for the end of this book, and to be 2 books into a trilogy and still feel like it's going to be a surprise is really refreshing. That's something that I'm very much enjoying about this. I will be reading Last Argument of Kings here in June to round out my stack. Now, that's quite a bit of reading. I usually read between 6 and 9 books a month, depending on how long the books are and how excited I am about reading that month, and that's a pretty chunky stack for me. So I wanted to kind of sift through my shelves and figure out what else I had that was going to be a complete switch up from these. And as you guys know, I definitely am going to be reading through quite a few of the Spiffbo self-published fantasy blog-off competition entrants in the next few months, so I will be putting those on. Those are going to be completely mood read led. I'm not going to put any of them on a specific TBR. I kind of have a 15 to 20 pool list of books that I am most excited about for the competition, but I am literally just going to mood read those because I do not want to lock myself into a specific set of books. I hope that these TBRs don't get boring for you guys because I'm choosing to lean more heavily into the mood reading, but I just really feel like that's where my emotional and mental status with reading is right now. I'm having a really hard time committing to anything specific. I want to cultivate that excitement in reading and being able to grab something that I'm really excited about, which is one of the reasons why I'm really looking forward to reading Long Price Quartet. I've been looking forward to that for months, and we're finally here, so I can finally read it. I'm very excited about that one. And Last Argument of Kings, I am 100% buckled in, ready to go. Let's see what happens. I did pull a book off my shelf as a kind of palate cleanser switch up from everything on my fantasy list, and that is When the Emperor Was Divine by Julie Otsuka. And this is a story of 5 different characters in 1942, right after the bombing of Pearl Harbor in American history. That's an era of time that I've been really fascinated by the last few years, and have been reading a lot of accounts of both from the American military side of things during Pearl Harbor, and also Japanese American families during the bombing of Pearl Harbor and afterwards, and the aftermath of all of that. So this one's just a really short little book. It's not going to take me much time to read at all. I think this is going to be an excellent palate cleanser for if I need a little bit of a break in between some of these bigger fantasy books. So yeah, that's the only one that I was like, okay, if I need a palate cleanser, I want to go on my shelf and just kind of pull one that has been in my mind for a little bit. And other than that, it's going to be mood reading. And I'll see, once I'm done with First Law, I'm going to kind of think about what else I might want to vlog. I will definitely be vlogging more fantasy series in the future, and I'm probably going to open it up to my patrons to help me decide, because I know there's quite a few series that have been brought up that people are really excited for me to read. If you're interested in joining my Patreon, it is down in the description box below. You get access to an exclusive Discord, and I put a lot of information out there about my writing process, some extra goodies behind the scenes, and little updates and videos and stuff that I give out to my patrons. So yeah, if that sounds interesting to you, definitely go check it out in the link below. And if you want to do something that's completely free that supports the channel, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to continue hanging out over here on my corner of the interwebs. I'd love to have you if you're not already part of the crew. So yeah, I hope you guys are excited about your reads in the month of June. I would love to know what you guys are planning on reading in June. Please let me know down in the comments below so that I can check out what you'll be opening up in June. I hope they're all 5-star reads, and I will see you guys in the next video.